Hey, Logan, how did Joe Judge deliver the news to you guys that he was coming back today?
He just, he did his standard end of the year checklist squad meeting like we had last year. So it wasn't like, he announced he was coming back. Everything was just as planned.
Got it. Okay. Well, it appears he's coming back, or at least that's the sense it seems like guys have gotten. So, what do you think of that organizational decision? I know we talked to you about this yesterday, but now that it seems like it's happening.
Yeah, man. I'm just, it's day by day. Like I said, yesterday was the game. We were recapping the game. Today we had our scheduled end of the year press conference. And Joe expect us all to work hard this offseason, work on our bodies, come back in shape. Had our exit meeting with our coaches, so everything kind of went as planned or as scheduled, and that's just what everybody, in my opinion, expected. And so we'll just continue as normal and until we hear anything new. I mean, this is a day infamous in the NFL. It's a lot of sad news for a lot of families. Obviously, that Black Monday, so it's always a tough time this time of year saying bye to people. The team's going to be different. You don't know who you're saying bye to, for good or for long. So it's just a day where all kind of gathering our stuff and getting ready to progress to the off season.
Alambardo.
Hey, Logan, you've been here a couple years now and obviously known Joe much longer than that. What about him and your experience with him makes you believe and confident that you guys can win with him and he's the guy to get you guys over this hump?
Yeah, I think Joe's a very it's well documented. Joe's a very honest man and transparent with his players, and he has been with me in my career. And I think respect goes a long way for respecting your head coach, and he can just command a room really well and lead us as players, in my opinion. And that's part of a head coach's job, is to really lead a room. I think there's a lot of coaches that I've worked with and players I've worked with around the league that are great strategists or great this or that, but they could never get in front of the room. They just don't have that type of moxie about them. And Joe has that about him, that he can lead men into working hard, sticking together, and obviously with the results not going the way we wanted this year, um, if the locker room is stuck together for the most part. And I think that's because of Joe kind of being consistent with us, respectful with us, listening to us, and trying our best to go out there and win games, even though that didn't work out as much as we wanted. I think he was very, consistent as a leader.
We've got time for two quick ones. Ryan Dunleavy and Kim Jones. Ryan.
Hey, Logan, I want to go back to something we talk about every August and then forget about. How okay are guys with how hard Joe Judge's practices are? You were in the Patriots, culture, that's where it comes from. Is the locker room behind how hard you guys practice, or is there concern that it's too much?
No, I think the locker room. I think the locker room's behind it. I mean, it's all I know, honestly. I've been in this, you know, from Greg Schiano in college to Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, and Joe Judge. It's all I know on how to practice, and so I don't. I think you might have to ask somebody who's had maybe a different branch, but I've kind of been in this branch and won in this branch and kind of seen it done this way. And it's just a very thorough way to practice, in my opinion. And you got to be in shape to play, to stay durable in this league anyway. So to me, it's just part of the process, and it's kind of all I know. So I don't know if I have the best perspective on that.
Last one for Kim Jones.
Hey, Logan. First of all, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, Kim. How you doing?
Oh, good. Thank you. And I wish you well this off season, of course. You're a guy, one of maybe, I don't know, a handful of guys, I don't know how many there are in your locker room, who really won a lot as an NFL player before coming to the Giants. What would you be willing to share with me in terms of why this group, this locker room, frankly, just doesn't win nearly often enough?
Yeah. A lot. It's a younger team. A lot of guys in the SEC have won a lot in their careers in college. It's a different level here, and honestly, Kim, this year has been puzzling for me because I don't know. I've won, and I think last year we ended with some. Although the goal is playoffs and Super Bowl. We didn't reach that, but there was a lot of pats on the back, a lot of hope on how we ended the year. And that momentum, it just did not carry. And honestly, no matter how you put it, when your locker room is ravaged with injuries and kind of the in and out that we had in the lineup, it was very hard to get consistency in game planning with the different pieces every single week. We've obviously sustained probably the most, if not a good amount of injuries up there in the league. And to key players, it's just the next guy is not as good as that starter, generally how a roster is built. So it was constant piecing together. And guys, coaches, nobody gave up. Nobody was looking for excuses. I was one of the few players that missed 2 games because of COVID, and then the rules changed a couple weeks later, and guys don't miss 1 game. So it's just the timing of things, and it was frustrating. Things didn't break our way at times. But the guys stuck together, and the winning didn't come, and I just think we didn't get consistency and didn't get in a rhythm to do that, similar to how we caught a groove at the end of last year, kind of found our way to win with some injuries. But this year we weren't able to recreate that. At the end of the day, just missing out the playoffs or missing the playoffs, that standard's not good enough anyway. So we need to aim much higher than that, and that's nobody's goal. So we need to get much better, and we need to aim much higher than what the last 2 years have been, whether 1 year's a pat on the back and this year's a slap on the wrist. They're both not good enough. So there's only one team at the end of these things that's going to go home happy when you play in the NFL. Every team's going to get their heart broken at the end of it. We had ours pretty early, and we have time to recoup and come back better next year and learn from these mistakes.
Logan, if I may really quickly, how much will you challenge yourself? I know you'll take some time and everything else, but as you then turn your thoughts to the next season, how much will you challenge yourself to be one of those guys who essentially says to the rest of his teammates, what we've done isn't good enough and it's got to get better?
Yeah, that's already started. That's been said, and we know that. That's just understood. I mean, guys didn't sign up and work as hard as we work for performances like we've had. So, honestly, my sights are set on next season now. They're set. I mean, at this point in my career, I pretty much try to stay in shape all year. I try to eat on diet all year. Of course, you'll see me in Disney World at times with my family off diet, but for the most part, I'll be in it. So this is my livelihood now, and it's I kind of stay in it. So I'll be training next week and really have a chip on my shoulder, and hopefully be put in a position to lead again and do a better job of it for the team.